Hello, I'm Julia Cordova. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel and liking my videos. I super appreciate it. So this week is going to be a short trading week because tomorrow, Monday, is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. It is a stock market holiday, so the stock market will be closed. However, the U.S. futures market will be open just like usual tonight, Sunday night, and will remain open until 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Monday. Take a short break and then start back up again at 6 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be a holiday for equities traders, but an abbreviated day for U.S. futures traders. So let's talk about last week. Last week, I thought there would be an increase in volatility, and I also thought it wouldn't be a straight up or down week. And what do you know? We had doji candles in all three of the major indices. What is a doji candle? It's basically, it's a candle that opens up in one place. You have price action both upwards and downwards in pretty much equal measurements, and then we close the candle exactly where we opened. Doji candles usually signify indecision, and so a lot of traders like myself, after an indecision candle, we say, okay, next week is going to be super important. We're going to know next week, are we going up from here or are we going down from here? But what usually happens in real life is sometimes you get an indecision candle after the indecision candle, just to be extra annoying. So in reality, no one knows what's going to happen next week, or this week. But what I will do is I will show you on the charts where the breakout values are, where the breakdown values are, and how I'm playing this next week. Now, as far as precious metals go, we did have great performance last week in both silver, gold, and the miners. It did exactly what it needed to do to keep me being bullish, but I will show you where I think we need to get above in order for me to feel more confident moving forward. And I will also show you what sort of the breakdown value would be in all of those. And then oil was freaking super bullish last week, and the oil equities were as well. Wow, they really outperformed, just like what we thought might happen when we looked at the chart. And then coffee also looks very interesting here, so we'll talk about that as well. So with that said, you ready? Let's talk charts. Whoop. All right. Okay. So let's start off by looking at the ES or SPX weekly futures candle. See what I mean by doji? Pretty much open in one place. And yeah, we closed the week down, but not by much. And then we have price action in both directions. However, we did close above this sort of pink line, which is my key area. So for this week, price action is bullish if we are above 4632.50. Okay. A breakout would be all the way up here at 4809. And then if you follow me on Twitter, you saw me tweet, I think somewhere up here, that I expected more drama and intrigue, because usually people look for 20 MA tests, and that's very textbook. If price action is above the MAs, it's bullish. If it's below the MAs, then it's generally bearish. So this is so textbook that I thought we might get a splash back down here. I don't know if it'll happen next week or not, and we'll see. But so what I'm going to say is above this 4632, bullish. And then if it does come down here to the 20 MA, it better hold, because if it doesn't, then I think we're going to hit this 4521 area again, or close to it. And then if that doesn't hold, I do believe we're going all the way down here. So sort of I'm bearish below 4521. And all the way down here to 4444. Okay, so I will update you though on Twitter if I'm feeling the vibes. I will definitely do that. So let me look at the daily to give us more color on that. Okay, so let me make that big. All right, so we closed just exactly on my line here, and a couple of times, but for this tomorrow or Sunday night / Monday, I'm looking at a key pivot of being 4659.75. And if we can get above that, bullish. Below that, not so much. So that's sort of my line in the sand, if you will. And then the next support I have below that is 4592.75. If that doesn't hold, then rut-row, I think we're going back down here. Okay. All right. So but this is a pretty bullish looking candle from Friday. So if we do have some continuation on Monday, I wonder if it will be able to hold this line. I do wonder that. Let's look at Nasdaq. Okay, this is the weekly. So last week, so this is the channel we've been in for a very long time. You can see between these orange lines, we've been here since, what is this? July of 20. Okay, we've just been like, and we haven't really at all breached it, but last week we did for the first time in a very long time. And we came almost exactly down to this 15,209 level and then closed at a doji, just like I said. Okay, so the bottom of the channel here is 15482. Actually, it's a little bit lower. Okay, yeah, 15476 actually is the bottom of the channel. So that is sort of the above bullish, below not so much. So bulls definitely wanted to hold there. If it doesn't hold there, then the next level of support, let me go ahead and mark that, is about 15,300 or so, or 15296. Okay, if that doesn't hold, then I'm not liking this 209 anymore, because we already tested that. So if that doesn't hold, then I think we're going to probably go significantly lower. But that is what I'm watching for this week, the 15476 and 15296. Okay, and then a breakout would be above 16232. All right, but we're still within this flag. Everything still looks okay. It's just not the most bullish thing in the world overall that we breached the channel, but above it, still okay. All right, let's look at small caps, or RTY. So this is the indices that has me a little concerned on the bullish side. Here's why: because this is starting to look like a bear flag to me, and we did, even though we didn't, the lows sort of stayed in this range. Oh my God. How annoying is this for any kind of, well, it's annoying for a trend trader. If you're a range trader, this is not annoying at all. This is freaking money. But we did close below the pivot. Even though it's a doji candle, it's slightly below the pivot that I wanted it to hold to be sort of bullish. So above 2169, back to being bullish, below questionable, all the way down this 2053 area, which is sort of a buy area. And then if that doesn't hold below that, it's 1959. So I don't know that all these things will be hit this week, but that's the pivots I'm watching. Now above 2210, and it'll start to look bullish, right? Because see that MA there? It will start to look bullish because it'll be above that 9 MA, and then I'll have to contend with the 20 and the 50 actually as well. And if it can get past that, then it'll start to look a lot more bullish. Okay, so those are pivots I'm watching for small caps. Quickly, Bitcoin not doing much. It is maybe a baby bull flag, not sure, but above 44,300, bullish up to this key level, but it has to get above that. Let's look at Ethereum. Same deal, possibly a bull flag, but it's yet to be determined. Below this 3132, not so good. Okay, and then it's still holding this bottom pivot though. Let's look at Doge. Okay, so I had talked about Doge showing relative strength compared to the other two cryptos that I covered last week, and what do you know? Wow, it flashed all the way up here to about well, over 21 cents, but it's back down now to under 18 cents. So but is that bearish? I don't know. I don't think so, because right now it's above all of those MAs. Remember, if price action is above the MAs, generally bullish. It's actually back testing it today. It's back testing the 20 MA. So now, as soon as we start to have crosses of the 9 over the 20, or actually, is that what is, yeah. Oh, it's, sorry, it's back testing the 50 MA, I think. Yeah. So as soon as we have to start having crosses of these MAs and they all start to curl in the upwards direction, it's going to be much more bullish, but so far so good. And I didn't tweet about it again after I said there was relative strength, just because it's not, is it super bullish? No, it's not super bullish. Has it broken out? No. But if it does hold these MAs, and these MAs do start to cross, and maybe it chops a little bit while all that's happening, I think that's a very, very good sign for Doge bulls. And I am a Doge bull. Okay, let's look at miners or GDX. Okay, so last week I had talked about this being a double bottom, and then if it comes up from a double bottom, and I should have specified, but usually what I look for is, okay, let's say there's what looks like to be a double bottom. Usually if it comes up about halfway or so and then comes down, that would be a bend and snap. And so then it just goes as low as it can pretty much without getting into this gravity area, and then goes up. So we had great price action this week until the end of the week, and then we saw some wah wah. So for this week, I as a GDX or miners bull, I really want us to close above this 31.27 area. I don't like this consolidation down here. I am tired of it, and we need to start showing some upward momentum. So that is what I'm looking for this week. We're right above the redemption pivot of 30.85. We closed above that. And I don't want it too far. I don't want to see it back down here again. It's not the most bullish thing in the world if it gets all the way back down here again. But what's most important will be the close. So hopefully it will close above this 3127, and I'll be more confident in it moving forward. It needs to get back above these MAs here. Okay. So with gold now, let me just look at the weekly. All right, so we definitely closed higher than we started. This is a much more bullish looking candle than the indices, right? It's not a doji candle, but it's also not as strongly bullish as it could have been. So as long as we're holding this 1811 though, I remain bullish on it. So if you are looking to sort of buy gold in here, there's a lot of room in both directions, right? But I'm encouraged by what I see. And so I will continue to scalp off of this 1811 area, and hopefully we'll have some continuation here. It's not going to be a breakout though until it gets above 1854 or so. That's this week. But we're holding this key pivot on gold, and we're starting to get above these MAs. We're above them now. So I want to see some continuation this week and give me some confidence moving forward. And now this silver chart, this is the silver weekly. This looks a lot like GDX, actually. This looks more like GDX than gold does. And so, but what really needs to happen is we need to get back above this 23.47. 2311 would be the first sort of, okay, we're making progress. We're back above the MA here, right? The lower MA, but we really need to get above this 23.475, because that will be, I think, uber bullish, because we've already done it once, twice. A third time will be like triple top, not a top, right? Right. So that would be a very good sign. And on the downside here, it really has to hold this 22.245, but I don't want it to go all the way down there, because that's just depressing and sad. Okay, let's look at oil. Okay, so oil had quite the week last week, and look at oil stonks. Now this is not a doji candle. This is a really freaking bullish candle, and it looks like price action will continue upwards. Because I don't know where price action will close though, I'm hesitant in saying it will go straight up, but it looks really freaking bullish. From a weekly perspective, the next resistance that I have on oil is 88.56, and that would be above the previous high, so that'd be quite bullish. Right now we have a lower high, but this week might cancel that out. We also have lower RSI so far, but there's plenty of room before we get to resistance here, and also in price. If you wanted to buy the freaking dip, last week I talked about 78.22, which was, if you took that. But I don't expect it to get all the way back down there this week, though. If it does, that probably means that we'll have weeks of consolidation, possibly build out a flag. Okay, this is because this is really super not bearish right now. Now, from a XOP perspective, there is still lots of room to run. But right now we have higher price and lower RSI. So the price either needs to get higher, or we're going to see a pullback this week. So I do not know which one of those things will happen. But if the price action does start to go down midweek and I see RSI at support, and if price action looks good on a lower time frame, then I might tweet about that and just let you know that might be good. So the levels to watch though for a support perspective from a support perspective would be both 109.12 and 107.58 if you are interested in starting to scale into XOP or Gush or whatever you want to trade. Okay, so Nutty last week went right up to the top of my channel and was like right back down. However, still a very bullish week overall, although you never know what's going to happen in candles like this. They can actually go both directions, but I do think that we're going to have some upwards momentum here. So these are the weekly pivots that I am watching for Nutty. It's not going to be a breakout unless it's above 4.734. And the next resistance I have is 4.387. And then below that, I have support at these orange lines. And hopefully it will hold this bottom one, which is 4.04. If it holds 4.04, approximately 4, then I think it's super bullish if it holds that this week. Okay. All right. Let's talk about coffee. So this is Joe or coffee, and we had an up week last week. It looks like we had some flag action broke out of here, and I did scale back in last week on the dip. So, oh boy, we are though at RSI resistance right now. So I'm just going to say above this 59.74 is still bullish. We're starting to see some upwards momentum. It could fall all the way back here, which would be fine. I will just increase the position again. And it's bullish, however, all the way down to 58.59. That would be a back test of the breakout. So even if it did kind of have oops, Control Z. I hit the wrong button. Oops, yeah, there we go. So even if we did have kind of a down week, I don't know if that'll happen. I still won't be discouraged by that overall, as long as it sort of holds here, and that'll be okay. But just overall big picture, look at this price action. This is bullish until it's closing below this channel, and then we'll reconsider it, but still overall very bullish, I think. Okay. And then I did do a chart for ARK. If you've hung around, you might as well look at it. Okay, so it's not the most beautiful chart in the world here, but I'm just looking, I'm like, is this a bull flag? Is this a giant bull flag? It's possible. I did note that there was some increase in volume last week. However, it's not the most, and so if you're bullish ARK for whatever reason, it's not the most horrible thing to start a scale in here, but I would have a plan and not go full blast here until we either start to look more bullish or we get to another level of support. There's actually double support at this area, this 74 area, because there's a gap at the right at 75 to 74. So this would be a better entry point, but just starting to scale in here if you are bullish, and then adding here, having a plan to stop out if we close below here is a thing. Okay, this is the weekly chart. This is not actually a bull flag, I should say, because the flag is actually too big for the pull. Okay, but it's still a channel, and so it's tradable. And so if we get much below 74, though, I think we're going down to the 63 area. But if we get to a tradable point in ARK, I will absolutely let you know that I have purchased it long on Twitter. I'll probably say that. And we can go, just because RSI is low and we did have an increase in volume, it looks like it might pop, but clearly it can go lower. RSI has gone a lot lower than it is now. Okay, so it's possible that we go lower, and I hope it does, because I like to bargain shop personally. Anyway, that's it. Okay, let me make myself big. All right, thank you again so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Did you see how dark it got? All right, thank you, and I will see you on the interwebs. Okay, bye. Have a great week.